The other issue is Jenny has come to me and claims that you're almost forcing her to take some of your classes.
I never said take my classes. I said that if she has a free period, it would be helpful if she took one of my classes, but I wasn't forcing her to do it. She's lying. She's a bloody liar.
She didn't get that impression, actually, Greg. She got the impression that you were actually trying to get out of one of your classes.
Okay. Am I not the Director of Performing Arts? Is that not my title?
Well,
music is a performing art.
Yep.
It comes under the umbrella of performing arts, so therefore she is under my control.
Oh, yeah.
When you walk around New York and a hard hat says, "Hey, sweetheart,"
I drive
you have
New York.
Woody That's good idea. What do your parents do for a living?
My father's dead, and my mother has a small flat, and I think she's got a day job.
It's not true that your real name is Menipsha Spiegelgas, is it? Is it really? You didn't want that revealed?
I was waiting for you to reveal it.
Well, I'm sorry if you didn't want that out, but... What is black noise?
Black noise?
Yeah.
Black noise is something that Burroughs got very interested in. It's
intriguing.
Well, no, it's the one facet of black noise is that everything, like a glass, if an opera singer hits a particular note, the vibrations are that of the metabolism of the glass and it cracks it, yeah? So black noise is the register within which you can crack a city or people, or it's a new controlled bomb. It's a noise bomb, in fact, which can destroy.
Is it a real thing? I mean, is it something that's actually somebody's experimenting with?
It was invented in France.
Could a tyrant use it to...
Well, until last year, you could buy the patent for it in the French patent office for about equivalent to $3-4.
It's concentrated.
It depends how much money you put into it. I mean, a small one could probably kill about half the people here, but a big one could destroy a city, or even more. I mean,
it's a weird idea.
Don't look at, it's not my idea.
No. Well, let's not give the instructions on how to do it. Can you recommend a good book to your fans? A good book?
What, this week? Apart from yours?
Oh, do I have a book out?
Yeah. Oh, no, I walked into that.
No, I wondered if last thing I read, you said that Kerouac was important to you, but that's a long time back. What are you reading?
I don't say I'm reading Machiavelli.
You're reading Machiavelli?
No.
Oh. What are you reading?
What am I reading?
What would we find on your coffee table in your apartment in there?
At the moment, mainly pictures. I bought Diane Arbus's book of photographs. It's a photographer that I like very much.
LSD was isolated by Stoll and Hoffman in a Sandoz pharmaceutical company of Basel, Switzerland. But in 1943, Hoffman became temporarily psychotic through accidental ingestion of the drug. The door swung wide open for research into the nature of the schizophrenic process and, in a larger sense, into the biochemistry of psychoses. TV's Paul Coates of Confidential File undertook to film a model psychosis in our laboratory in an attempt to impress upon the public, through a case of artificial insanity, that the mentally ill is not inhabited by the devil. Our attention will be focused on the experiences of our volunteer subject, Bill.
It's exactly 12 o'clock and we're ready to start this experiment. I'm going to give you this cup that contains lysergic acid 100 microgram. Will you drink it? How did it taste?
It had no taste.
How did it look?
Colorless.
Your charcoal, and here you are, ready to go.
Oh, fine.
Bill, go ahead.
Oh, thank you. How's this? That seems good. If you just look over this way.
So many of the changes produced by this drug have to be described verbally. And here we have the advantage of an artist who is able to draw a sketch, and you can see all the changes just by simply observing the various distortions that will take place in your own portrait. That's just about ready then, is that right?
Well, as far as I can go without distorting it too much.
All right, now let me see it. Let's show it to Paul. That's an excellent likeness, isn't it?
"12:17. This is a good time to do the control EEG, so we go next door. In less than 2 hours, LSD will reach its climax. In most subjects, the alpha index drops, and the frequency analyzer will show the gradual emergence of the fast frequency bands. Single light flash will block the alpha waves for at least twice as long a period as it does now. It will modify each time the visual illusions Bill is expected to see as he lies in a dark cage with his eyes closed. Now we'll go back to the other room. Before he sits down, he remarks that he begins to walk on air. Here and there, a forced, irrelevant giggle.
How you feel?
Well, I feel very fine. I feel very buoyant and light and resilient. I feel as though this chair is not as solid as it seems to be. I have a feeling that my hands are not resting against this chair. And I see flashes of color quite a bit. I see this rug, for example, seems to have an awful lot of the complements of violet and yellow. I see a lot of violets and yellows.
Do you find any difference between one half of your body as opposed to the other half?
Well, I have a sort of a wavering tendency. I don't know which half is trying to get into the other half, but somehow or other, and I seem to be going like that.
One half.
It's a very pleasant feeling of nausea, and
Why did you laugh? Why did you laugh just now?
Because the rug seems to be billowing, pulsating.
Can you influence that pulsation? Hold your breath, for instance. Take a deep breath, hold it. Did you stop the pulsation?
More or less.
Now breathe out. Did it change again?
Well, just it gets a little clever, that's all.
Clever?
Yes.
In what way does it becomes clever?
It seems to feel that I'm going to watch it.
You have the feeling that the rug feels that you are watching it. Is that correct?
Well, somehow or other, I think that I'd like to rescue myself from the idea that there's so many different realities here. Somehow I feel an observer, and I feel as though all these people are observing me and very amused and very good company. But at the same time, I feel as though I'm in a more exalted position.
You feel sorry for me that I'm left out of this experience?
Well, I have a feeling that you're enjoying it with me.
Well, I am enjoying it in a sense, yes.
Could I ever do a walk-on in your show? I've got to know what it feels like to stand on stage in a big production thing like that.
In
I
a
suppose it would
production?
screw up your...
Well, if I had a part for you, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe if I were to bring out a cup of tea and a good book.
If it's your book.
Oh, I forgot about that. Angels and Angela. Which is the typo?
Angela.
Her real name is Angela. Is she a model?
Is she what?
A model or an actress? Or I
No,
saw
she
one
was,
very attractive picture of her.
No, she was an intellectual that went to school in Switzerland and has a vast capacity for knowledge and runs around, does theses and everything.
I think that's what I would like to do. I'd like to find out what reality I'm in.
By now he loses the feeling that his body has substance. He ate his last meal 20 hours ago, but food holds no interest for him.
Very fine. And of course I don't think that you can take much credence to what I say, because the shifting patterns of things I feel and see around me I do not know what part of what reality, again. The singing, of angels or something. I think it's the soundtrack or the film going through the machine.
Which makes you feel as if you were hearing the singing of angels.
Yes, and a murmuring.
I see.
I really, I couldn't eat that.
Why is that?
It seems repugnant and realistic.
Well, you told me not long ago that you were hungry.
What I'm hungry for is not this sort of thing, because I want to feed off of this feeling, this joy, which seems to be coming from everything. What I'm hungry for is not this sort of thing, because I want to feed off of this feeling, this joy, which seems to be coming from everything.
want to be understood. You know what I mean? That Ziggy Stardust
Absolutely
was
nothing to understand. I mean,
was concerned with famine in the world and so on, and prophecies of the world running out of food and stuff like that.
I'm a storyteller and a story writer, and I decided that I preferred to enact a lot of the material I was writing rather than perform it as myself. At this moment, I'm performing as myself, but I will continue in the future, after I've done what I wish to do at the moment, return back to writing stories, and I will enact them again, and I don't care what anybody says. I like doing it, and it's what I shall continue to do.